All right, what up, people? It's your boy Chig from Unit Eagle Eye, coming to you again with a brand new video. That's right, your future Eagle Eye, my transfer rumour show, or just my Arsenal rumour show, where I'm going to touch upon lots of different Arsenal rumours that are going on in the club. And it's been a few days since I've done some stuff, so there's some stories that I'm going to talk about that ain't news to you guys, but I've just not given my thoughts about. There's going to be some stuff that has literally just broken to me very recently, so I've decided to share it with you guys. And then the Mesut Ozil stuff, I'm going to leave till the end. So here we go. So it's just been broken that, I say broken, fucking hell, nothing really happened. Obviously, Barcelona have completed a deal for Malcolm, and the way they did it was kind of gangster. I got to admit, I'm not a fan of Barcelona. I get it, but I don't get, if you're an Arsenal fan, why you love and adore Barcelona so much. You should have a special resentment for them in your heart, in my opinion. Just based on the amount of players that they've nicked and tapped up off of us over the years. I know I fucking do. Fuck it, I'll be honest. I do. But I must admit, I have to admire their game when it comes to this Malcolm deal. You know, first of all, it looked as though Malcolm was headed to Everton. And considering who Everton has very recently, in the last couple of minutes, completed a deal for, really, they should have stuck with fucking Malcolm. Then that went cold all of a sudden. And then all of a sudden, a few days ago, maybe Saturday, Sunday, you heard rumours that Roma were on the verge of completing Malcolm. There must have been something wrong with that deal for Arsenal to think, you know what, we never at any point even attempted to chase for Malcolm, which is maybe telling. And then all of a sudden, just when Roma are about to complete that deal, my man has fucking fans waiting there for him. They've got all the media to do all the kind of like little kind of social media shit that every club has to do these days. Everything is ready for him. Barcelona come in the 11th hour. Don't even talk to his club. They went to Roma and said, no, you ain't doing that deal. Cancel that shit now. They cancel it. They go to Bordeaux and say, listen, we'll give you 5 million more. Let's complete that deal. Like gangsters. And they fucking complete the deal. Now Malcolm's a Barcelona player, just from nowhere. And I guess as Arsenal fans, because we are hoping beyond hope, you know, dare I say on the verge of delusion. On the verge, though. I don't think this is as impossible as people seem to think it is. But I think we're all hoping that somehow, some way, we might be able to bumble and stumble Ousmane Dembele into Arsenal Football Club. So I guess a lot of people think, okay, well, they've got a winner now. Is that a replacement for Dembele? I hope so, but having said all that, there was a story that broke literally just before I came on to do this show, that Dembele is looking for any way out of Barcelona, that he's so unhappy there that the Barcelona manager, who I cannot fucking remember the name of him. I can, but I can't pronounce his name. I can't be asked to butcher his name. My man was so unhappy with him that apparently he didn't even congratulate Dembele for winning the World Cup, which is like, hey, why would you congratulate him at least? So, you know, they clearly a really bad negative relationship there. Whether we can take advantage of that is another question. I'm so hoping we can. I don't know how we can, but I'm so hoping we can. I think for us to be able to get a loan deal over the line, we've almost got to promise Barcelona that we're going to be able to buy that player. Whether Arsenal will spend what is necessary in order to buy him is another question. But I tell you what, we need to be taking advantage of the fact that there's one thing we can be sure of, I hope, is that there is an unhappy player there. We noticed ever since these stories of Dembele being unhappy, Not one time have you heard this guy say, "No, I'm happy at Barcelona. I really want to stay at Barcelona." I've never heard that. Not once. So that to me is kind of telling, especially when you compare it to my next story, Kingsley Coman. So I talked about this story last time I was here. There was a price tag of 44 million on him, which I thought was quite cheap considering talent. And it looks as though he's ruled himself out of the move. He's done what I would have expected Dembele to do a couple of months ago, to be honest, where he came out yesterday, and basically said that he's happy at Bayern Munich, never wants to leave. In fact, he recently extended his contract to show that he is ready to stay, fight for his place, and spend many, many years at Bayern Munich. So bang goes that dream. But I'll tell you what, Dembele would be a bigger dream if we somehow, some way, managed to bumble and stumble that over the line. So let me talk about the big story that came out today with Arsenal, and that's Usmanov, who, if you're living under some sort of rock, you know, I suppose there's not just Arsenal fans that watch this, so let's talk to the non-Arsenal fans here. So Usmanov is a Russian billionaire, rich as fuck. He's said to be worth about 14.4 billion. Lots and lots of money. Bought an ownership, well, I say an ownership stake, what would normally considered to be an ownership stake, a 30% stake at Arsenal Football Club. The only problem is that the Stan is there and he has a lot more. Yes. So Stan and him don't get on. There isn't even a dialogue. There's no politeness there. Usmanov isn't even on the board. And there were stories that came out last year. I remember this. It came out last year that Usmanov was getting a bit itchy, and it was likely he was going to sell his stake. And then he came out last year and said, "You know what? I'm ready for a commitment. My offer of 2 billion to buy Arsenal Football Club still stands. I'm committed going forward." When I started hearing stories about that, in my mind, I was like, okay, maybe you are getting itchy, because maybe, remember, he has an interest in Everton Football Club. You know, he has colleagues and stuff that have big ownership stakes at Everton Football Club. So he might just fucking grab his money and just spend it at Everton and make Everton into a superpower. I tell you what, I saw this story and I was so uncomfortable as an Arsenal fan. I can imagine many of you guys were as well. And the idea that Usmanov might just up and leave this idiot in charge is, it don't sit well with me at all. It don't sit well with me at all. I know there's supposed to be that Nigerian brother that is also an Arsenal fan, who is also worth a shitload of money, like billions and billions. And I know he's interested in buying a football club. Maybe Usmanov can really give Stan a big fuck you and sell that stake to him. That would be hilarious. Man, I hope he doesn't go, but I can understand if he does. Just the idea of Stan owning everything, oh man, that shit don't sit well with me at all. I mean, you could see, I mean, just look at this. Fucking Everton just spent 50 million on Richarlison, right? That is our entire transfer budget. And all right, yes, technically we spent just over 50 million cheap. What are you talking about? Motherfucker, they'll make a sale. They'll make a sale and balance the books. So the idea that Everton can spend our entire transfer budget on Richarlison should be a sobering thought. I mean, that really should make you think, fucking hell, the hell is going on? And also another story that came out 3 days ago, which I found like a really interesting story. So the signings that we have made in our goalie, Lichtsteiner, and Socrates. So those signings have really caused a stir in Europe, apparently. Apparently it's shocked. That was the word I read. Scouts all over Europe that Arsenal could actually buy those three. Nothing wrong with Lichtsteiner, but the man's 34. Socrates apparently seemed to be a very substandard defender, which really makes me uneasy. And our goalie, which literally his name has just vanished for the life of me. I know the chat room's probably going mad. I never put the chat room up when I'm just by myself. But I'm actually going to go to the chat room to help me out here. Chat room, who's our goalie? What's his name? Leno, that's it. I remember without even looking. Basically, with Leno, apparently he's meant to be literally Carrius 2.0. Now, I know you're probably sat there thinking, oh, Craig Chig, why are you being negative for? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? Listen, I said it before and I said it again. Not so much with Lichtsteiner. I think Lichtsteiner will prove to be a good signing. The man, from what I saw in the World Cup, still has at least 12 months left in him. At least. The one that does worry me, and I'm just being real with you guys, is Socrates and Lennon. Those two really concern me, I ain't gonna lie. I hope to be proved wrong, but let's see. Let's see. Right, let's get back into more stories just for you guys. So Steven Nzonzi, the signing that seemed to won't go away. So Arsenal look like they're playing poker when it comes to Steven Nzonzi. So Steven Nzonzi wants to come to Arsenal. Arsenal retain, I think it's safe to say, at least a curiosity about Steven Nzonzi. What they don't want to do is pay 35 fucking million for Steven Nzonzi, which I would be, I'll back that. I don't think we should be paying that type of money for Steven Nzonzi. I like the fact, at the very least, I've gone on record to say I'm not sure he is good enough long term. This is just me being real with you guys. But one thing I will say, he had a very good World Cup. The other thing I will say is that I like the fact that we've bought Torreira and are still looking at another defensive midfielder. If I'm El Nene, I'm sweating. I'll be real with you. I'm sweating. But yeah, it's unusual that this story, which I thought had initially gone away when Emre said he wasn't looking at Steven Nzonzi, to now the papers are still running away with the fact that we are still retaining interest. We're still looking at seeing if that we can make that deal work. So I think time will tell. So we'll see. We'll see. Next up is Vida, who plays for Beşiktaş. I can never say this Turkish team's name. Beşiktaş. Sorry, Mems, I'm butchering this name. I don't know what's wrong with me. I can't pronounce shit. Yeah, so he's 29 years old, plays for Croatia. I'll be honest, I've watched this guy do a number on two teams that I was supporting at the time, Nigeria and England. And he was the best defender in both of those fucking games. Very, very good player. All due respect to the Turkish team, I don't know what the fuck he's doing over there. I'll be real. He is 29, no. And I'm not ageist, but we are looking at a lot of older players these days. Like, I don't really know what that's about. I do like the fact that we're looking at a defender, though, because I just think we could do with one more centre back. Just one more. I'm not comfortable with just Socrates there. Just one more. So I like the fact that we're looking there. He also can play as a right back, which I think is that does us no harm. Can push Bella in a little bit more as well. So yeah, we're looking at him, but so are a number of other teams. You know, Liverpool said to be looking at him. Everton, who seem to, both of these Liverpool teams seem to have a lot of fucking money, because Everton are also looking for him, looking at him as well. He had a good World Cup, so it's no surprise really that you know, he's being looked at so carefully. And at 19 million, it might be worth a punt. It might be worth a punt. So that's Vida. Now, So I'm going to start talking about some other issues here. So, before I go on to that, I'm going to talk about our goalkeeper situation. So I mentioned Leno, Petr Cech. So Petr Cech was linked with a move to Roma. He's been linked with a move to lots of different places. It's not a surprise that Roma are looking at goalkeepers. They've just lost Alisson. They've got money to spend now from 65 million. So they're looking at goalkeepers thinking, what can we do here? What can we do here? So they're looking at Petr Cech. The other thing is that we were set. Now, I know this story has since been distanced a little bit, but I find it interesting that supposedly we were in advanced talks with Sommer from Butchen, from fucking hell, I've forgotten that team, German team, all right? And I didn't really want to mention this story because I thought to myself, well, if it's been denied, it's been denied. But I like the fact that maybe we might be looking at goalkeepers. I know a lot of people are worried about the fact that, we're going to sell both Ospina and Cech. You guys know, who follow me closely and have subscribed to me, know that I did a chopping block, a controversial chopping block, I admit. But that's what chopping blocks are, really. I'm about setting controversy because this is my honest opinion. And I would get rid of them both. I've said it before and I say it again. I think both are substandard. Cech was a Premier League great. But quite frankly, my man has been dodgy on the near post for some time. He's just declining with age. At 36, I don't see him getting any better. Fair fucking play to him. There was a picture that came out last week where he looked wedged. So clearly Emre is putting him through his paces. There's a distinct difference between Petr Cech this summer and Petr Cech a couple of years ago. There's a big difference. He looks wedged. Having said all that, to me, if there's an opportunity to strengthen that area, particularly when we have a goalkeeper which, whatever you want to say about, it's better that he's making these mistakes now, making it during pre-season rather than during the season. At the very least, I think one thing we can all agree is that there is at least a question to ask about Leno. There is a question to ask about whether maybe he has the quality to keep it going throughout the season. If that's the case, it would only be clever to think, you know what, let's buy another goalkeeper and just shore that situation up. Now, the other solution, which I can imagine the chat room are going bonkers about now, or the comment section will be going bonkers about shortly, will be about, what do you do with Martinez? Now, that Martinez is a realistic option for someone who can step up. I've never been overly impressed with Martinez, I must be honest. But the one thing I'll say for him, that guy's a big motherfucker. I know someone's bound to Wikipedia it and tell me I'm wrong, but I believe he's 6'2", 6'3", something like that. Big motherfucker. You know me, I like goalkeepers that are big fuck off motherfuckers. My apprehension with Martinez is that whenever he's gone on loan, you don't really hear anything. Not really. Do you ever hear of Martinez being amazing? Do you ever hear of when Martinez comes back from being on loan that particular team are desperate to buy him? That never happens. Think about it. When Szczesny went on loan to Roma, Juventus wanted to buy him. With Martinez, he's been on loan a good 3 or 4 different teams. Not one of them has ever said, yeah, we're desperate to have this geezer as part of our team. And that makes us think, maybe you're not good enough. My potential solution, if we're looking at in-house solutions, is I like to look at Macy. Let's have a real closer look at him. Could he be a number 2? I lean towards no, but I definitely think he could be a number 3, which means I would bring in a number 2. Bring in a number 2 and see what happens. Let Macy play the League Cup games. Your number 2 plays the Europa League games, and then you have your number one that plays the league games. And then let's see what happens. That would be the way I do it. That would be personally the way I would do it. But let's see what happens. Next story I'm going to talk about, just because I'm not, and I suppose it can then make me segue into the Iwobi and Ozil thing, is the Alex Iwobi thing. So sorry, guys, who are used to my quick shows. I've not done one of these shows in a while, so this is a lot of the reason why this is a bit of an extended episode, this one. So Alex Iwobi. So there was two different stories that came out this weekend. One of the stories that came out this weekend was the fact that Iwobi, that Emre had set a price for Iwobi, and it was said to be 22.5 mil. And you had a lot of Arsenal fans that were like, fuck it, sell him, fuck it, sell him. 22.5 million? Boy, sell him. Never mind the fact that when I did a chopping block and I put Alex Iwobi in, I remember so many people saying, Chig, you are nuts for ever thinking we'd get over 20 million for Iwobi. Why? He's an international, he's 22 years old. Just because you think he's shit doesn't mean that another team ain't going to invest in what could the potential that is there. And that's what people are valuing him on. So there were lots and lots of stories, and people probably unsurprisingly were saying, fuck it. So you motherfuckers are probably saying that now in the chat room, right? And then maybe 24 hours later, there were stories that actually Alex Iwobi was being offered a new deal, said to be a 2-year extension. His current deal expires in 2020. His 2-year extension will take him to 2022. I think his deal was set to be in the region of about 80 to 90,000 pounds a week. And people lost their fucking shit. And that, I suppose, brings me to my Ozil and Iwobi rant. Now, anyone who follows me on Twitter knows that I've had a few debates with people over the last couple of days about Ozil. Now, let me make it clear, and I made it clear at the time, but I feel like I should say this again. I think racism is one of the most horrendous diseases of this world. And unfortunately, we'll never be free of it. Because people are ultimately think what they want to think. We will never be free of it. It will never be kicked out of football. That's my honest, genuine, perhaps morbid opinion on that. I think it's disgusting. And if Ozil has been subjected to that, as it certainly suggests that he has, they are a fucking disgrace. Whether it's Germany, whether it's the actual association, the public, the media, whoever is subjecting Ozil is a fucking disgrace. So what? It's all right to bring in Ozil and describe him as German when Ozil's doing well, but then to describe him as a Turkish immigrant or whatever it is that they're using to describe him when he takes fucking pictures with presidents. Is that what it takes to get racist abuse now? A picture, for fuck's sake, people. You know, and then there have been Arsenal fans that have also joined in on that abuse, because Ozil, for whatever side of the fence you're on, Ozil is a polarizing character. I think that's one thing we can all agree. He's a polarizing character. You know, some people absolutely adore Ozil, adore him. You can't tell my man any different, or my girl any different. They've decided that Ozil is an amazing player. He can do no wrong. It is what it is. And don't get it twisted, people. Please don't misunderstand what I'm saying. He absolutely deserves sympathy. Absolutely deserves sympathy for any racism he's been subjected to. My annoyance, and this is why perhaps, you know, other hosts of other shows wouldn't even get in this debate. You motherfuckers aren't subscribed to me for that. You're subscribed to me because I like to give my opinion on things. So here is my honest opinion. As terrible as that is, where were these same people when Iwobi was getting abused? Where? When Iwobi's family was getting abused? Where? Mind you, let me temper all of what I'm saying by saying this. I put Iwobi on my chopping block because I've had frustrations with his form, but most importantly, because I believe personally he will never fulfill his potential here. That for him, he needs a complete fresh start where fans will be able to give him the benefit of the doubt and will just take him for what he is and give him the time to learn and develop and to move forward. I didn't see this I stand with Ozil. I didn't see any I stand with Iwobi's. I didn't see that. I saw the complete opposite. I saw, oh, Iwobi, he's fucking shit anyway. He can go. He could do this. He can do that. Where was that? Oh, I get it. Because I was told a couple of days ago, because Ozil is a good player, he gets his support. And because Iwobi is not seen to be a good player, he doesn't. Motherfucker, racism is racism. An Arsenal player is an Arsenal player. If one deserves your support, the other should deserve your support. If one has been subjected to disgusting racism and the other has been subjected to disgusting racism, they both deserve your support. This talent has fuck all to do with it. It has fuck all to do with it. And that's the thing that drives me mad, is this difference between the way we treat people. The way we treat people. Oh, well, we can't let Jack go. Why? Why? Oh, won't do shit, he can go. All right, cool. To me, the imbalance is crazy. And that to me is what drives me mad about being an Arsenal fan sometimes. It really does. It drives me insane. Because I think to myself, what to me, I don't stand with Ozil. I don't stand with Iwobi. I stand with all Arsenal players in the face of racism, in the face of bullshit, in the face of criticism from outsiders. I'm an Arsenal fan. I don't just stand with Ozil. I don't just stand with Iwobi. I don't just stand with Chambers. I stand with every single one of them players. And don't get it twisted, people. A lot of people will say, oh, but Tube, you made the channel off the back of criticizing them. Yeah, I criticized these fuckers. Guess what? I criticized Will Smith's last couple of films. Guess what? 3 days ago, I criticized Rock's film. I think it's terrible, his last film. I still love the dude. I still love the dude. He's still my childhood hero. I still stand with them. Regardless of whether Leno is going to be a Karius 2.0, my man has my absolute backing and support. I stand with Leno. I stand with each and every single Arsenal player because I'm an Arsenal fan. And if you're an Arsenal fan, regardless of whether you can have your opinion about whether you think Iwobi's shit. I'm not here to debate you about whether you think Iwobi's shit. My annoyance comes from the fact that all I'm saying whenever I go on Twitter is I stand with Ozil. Where was your I stand with Iwobi's? Do you know what? Where was your I stand with Xhaka when Xhaka was getting criticism and all that hate mail and death threats? Where was I stand with Xhaka? Where was that? I stand with each and every Arsenal player. And if that makes me a bad fan, so be it. So that's my honest criticism. For me, Ozil, you have my utmost support. I support the fact that you've retired from international football. You know what? Fuck a Germany. I'm sorry, any German fans that are watching this, but fuck that footballing country, not the country. Just to make it clear, the association. Fuck them. Fuck them. Fuck them. You're an Arsenal player, so I stand with you. Awobi, my gosh, brother, we need a big season from you, man. We need you to stand the fuck up. And if you do that, I stand with you. Each and every single one of those players, Mustafi, I stand with you. You're an Arsenal player. And if you're an Arsenal player wearing that Arsenal badge, every single one of you, I stand with you. It's as simple as that. You won't see it, and I stand with Ozil on my Twitter feed. But what you will see straight after I'm done with this video is I stand with Arsenal. Full stop. And before I go, let me just say this. Credit to Ivan, because he apparently made an amazing speech that even made Ozil quite emotional. And fair play to him, whether he ends up going, because there's lots of stories that he could end up leaving, that apparently he's set to become AC Milan's chief exec in September, and he's ready to take up that post in September. I've gone on record calling that man a weasel. I take every single one of those words back. For standing up today for Arsenal, for Ozil, and making a speech and acting like a leader, you know what? And I never thought I'd fucking say this. I stand with Ivan. All right, people, I'm out of here. I've been bitching long enough. You guys let me know what you think. Leave it in the comments below. If you like this video, and I can't imagine you have, because I've been banging on and on and on. But if you have, leave it in the comments below. Absolutely crush, destroy, drop kick the shit out of that like button. The likes really help the show get noticed. So please, please do all you can to help the show get noticed. And yeah, that's pretty much it from me. I'm going to come at you again a couple of days later just to do another Eagle Eye episode. And I know I owe you guys a live show. I'm going to try and get you guys a live show on Sunday. So stay tuned, people. All right, I'm out of here. Take care.